Ladies and gentlemen, not only is there a conservative Supreme Court, but the indictments against Trump, or this indictment in New York, doesn't even list a federal crime. In addition to that, the Supreme Court overturns Bob McDonnell's corruption convictions. This is a Politico article, June 27, 2016. Unanimous Supreme Court has overturned the corruption convictions of former Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell, ruling that federal prosecutors relied on a boundless definition of kinds of acts that could lead politicians to face criminal charges. Then it goes on to talk about the decision from the 8-justice court could make it tougher for prosecutors to prove corruption case against politicians in cases where there is no proof of an explicit agreement linking a campaign donation or gift to a contract, grant, or vote. There is no proof linking Trump. Nothing. The FEC didn't even view it to be a fine. If there was any proof between Trump and Michael Cohen's shell company that he created with his funds to pay Stormy, we don't even know, number one, if they had the affair. I think they did, but they didn't have. There's no evidence. There's no proof that the romantic relationship took place. We only know that Stormy tried to extort Trump, waiting until October of 2016. But Michael Cohen paid from his own money, not the campaign money. That's why the FEC fined Clinton and the DNC for purchasing the Steele dossier through campaign funds, and fined President Obama's campaign in 2008 $375,000, one of the greatest, I think the greatest fine in FEC history. Trump wasn't even fined. So the court already has a precedent. Supreme Court overturns Bob McDonnell's corruption convictions. You have a precedent here where they're going to overturn a weak case or a case that relies on simply mere suspicion. Now, there isn't just mere suspicion with Hunter and his laptop and Joe. There are 150 banking transactions linked to emails. One email in particular, the New York Post talked about, was a question or a favor from one of the people paying Hunter. How can you use your influence on the company's behalf? His influence being Joe Biden, then vice president. And then, of course, a prosecutor is forced out. It's pretty clear. You have evidence there. You have emails. You have incriminating emails. You have a money flow. You have very shady and corrupt business transactions. You don't have that with Trump. They're desperate to find something on Trump because they've committed crimes within the Democratic Party. Then you have Hillary with private servers siphoning top secret intel. So then they might indict Trump on obstruction with the classified data nonsense that he's going through, which is complete and utter nonsense. So their best defense is a good offense. Accuse Trump of everything, then nobody looks at them. The Democratic Party politicians that are committing crimes. Hit subscribe to this channel right now, ladies and gentlemen. I might have a live stream. I'm not sure. Later tonight, I might. But it might. If I do have a live stream, it'll be later, much later, like around 10 p.m. or 10:30 p.m. So look out for the live stream at around 10:30 p.m. or 10 p.m. Pacific time. I'm not exactly sure, but I will be back in a couple of hours. I'll have at least 2 more uploads on this channel. Hit subscribe. Go to hagoodman.com to read my writing in The Hill, the Huffington Post, Salon, the Jerusalem Post, the Federalist, and other publications. Go to contactgoodman88@gmail.com to become part of a newsletter. That's contactgoodman88@gmail.com to be part of a newsletter. And to my new Patreons, thank you so very much. The Patreon is below. And to the super thanks, thank you so very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the Supreme Court, so the appeals courts in New York, the appeals court in New York might affirm and uphold a conviction of Trump. Trump could get convicted, which, by the way, wouldn't make a dent in his poll numbers. If anything, his poll numbers have skyrocketed, and he's fundraised $8 million, $8 to $11 million in the past 2 weeks. Okay? There's not a person on this planet that doesn't realize that this is purely political. There is not one human being on this planet that doesn't understand that Democrats have loyalists. They have they have the Attorney General of New York, the District Attorney of Manhattan, literally campaigned. Could you imagine if you had Republicans campaigning? And they say, well, Trump did that with Hillary. It's like, well, but Clinton had servers. It is illegal, and I think Hillary Clinton will be the 24 nominee for the Democratic Party. It is illegal to have servers siphoning classified data. It is not legal. You don't need the Honorable James Comey to decide whether or not that is legal. It is not legal. It is not even feasible from a cybersecurity perspective. It is not even possible to have secret servers. Could you imagine? We're a country of 320 plus million Americans. And the entire country just, servers? Okay, well, you know what? I mean, it was just for personal emails. But her emails, It's like, well, we're 90 seconds to midnight with Biden's foreign policy. Okay? You voted against your interest if you want a safer world. And you voted against your interest if you want a better economy. Basically, you voted against your interest if you wanted the normal things from a good president. But at least Trump isn't tweeting. We have Nouriel Roubini, wonderful, wonderful economist, stating that the bank runs will continue. And I think that there's going to be a major, major crash. And I've been saying that since 2021. But you have this obsession with Trump, and it's now a part of like so many people's psyche and mind and spirit and soul. Like, it's completely irrational, and they don't care. Like, the people who claim that Trump is a narcissist are the epitome of narcissists themselves. They're the ones who will look at this man, and they'll see not who he is, a caricature, an illusion of what media has made him out to be. They don't see the Doha Agreement, Abraham Accords, first president to step foot in North Korea, First Step Act, all of these great things that took place, record low poverty, all of these great things that took place under Trump. We had a great economy, we had a great foreign policy under Trump. And I just remember people telling me, I'm scared, I know what's going on. What were you scared about? What were you scared? You scared now of bank runs? You scared now of these are the wonderful, morally superior liberal Democrats who can't understand why anybody would vote for Trump. It's like their sensibilities, their dislike of Donald Trump, their complete disdain for this man does not reflect the reality of what's going on in this country. They have made their dislike, their contempt, their disdain of Trump into a pseudo-religion. And people who do commit crimes like Hunter or Joe or Hillary, like, their crimes involve major millions of dollars in business deals with foreign corporations serving as intelligence fronts, according to Chuck Grassley and Jim Jordan and James Comer. I mean, you have all of these obvious criminal activity. And then with Trump, which is why the Supreme Court, if you look, the precedent has already been set. Supreme Court overturns Bob McDonnell's corruption conviction, and that was about campaign finance issues. So I think I might be the only person on YouTube bringing up Bob McDonnell's corruption conviction being overturned. That is a precedent here because there wasn't any direct evidence that McDonnell did anything. There's no direct evidence that Trump did anything. There is direct evidence with Hunter and Hillary. There's direct evidence. They owned servers. They owned a laptop. There is direct evidence there. Okay? It's not like somebody doing something on their behalf without them knowing. Or, I mean, you could say, well, Trump told Michael Cohen, okay, well, where's the evidence that he told Michael Cohen anything? It could have just been an umbrella of legal services. There is evidence that classified data is stored outside the U.S. on servers. Highly illegal. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe, right?